purpose of this video is to teach you how to use a multimeter to buzz out switches, or another terminology is to check continuity on switches, and also to kind of get a feeling of the definition of normally open and normally closed. And so we have different kinds of air pressure switches. These would be liquid level switches, and this would be an example of a temperature gauge. And the first thing we want to do is put our meter onto the ohms, and sometimes there's a little symbol for sound. And the only thing we want to know is that when we touch the two probes of the meter buzzes because we just completed a circuit. So now we know that these wires are touching. So if we take a switch that has normally open and normally closed contacts, what that means is if we touch the common to the normally open, the meter doesn't buzz because we have an open circuit. If we touch it to normally closed, it will buzz because we have a closed circuit. So a lot of pressure switches can handle both situations of normally open, normally closed. A lot of level switches can also handle normally open, normally closed. On this switch, the black wire is the common, and so we touch the black. The blue is normally open. When we lift the switch, it closes. So that we're just testing that a switch is in normally open position. When we close it by lifting the float, it completes the circuit and we have continuity. On this, if we touch the common with the normally closed, it works the opposite. We lift the float, it opens the circuit. So that's sort of the definition of normally open, normally closed. And again, that'll work for pressure switches, different types of level switches. We have the kind that come in perpendicular. We have the kind that hang in a set tube that you'll see on air-water separators. We have the kind that is a mercury float where it lifts. You'll see these in shallow tray air strippers or sumps. They're very common. And then for temperature switches, there'll be something like this. This isn't one that can be normally open, normally closed. And you'll always know that you have that option when you have three things to connect to. So here's three things, three things, three things. If your switch only has two wires, these switches you can change them around just by taking the float off and flipping it over. So even though these have two wires, they also can serve as dual, as a normally open or normally closed.